Hey, this is Donna from the Everything Saxophone podcast. We're here at NAMM 2022, the NAMM show. We're live here with Bob Sheppard and Joel Peskin. This podcast is sponsored by Legere Reeds, and we just started off with some pretty awesome playing from these guys. They're at the Retro Revival booth. Hey, thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for asking us to do this interview. Nice to talk about our brand new saxophone.
Yes, let's talk about this brand new saxophone. So tell us all about it. What is it? What's the model number? What was the inspiration?
This is called the TRU Six, and by the name itself, it implies something that we're trying to really go for. It's like because we're
Six from the 1950s.
We're a long time Mark Six. That's all we've played. But we always ask, like, why can't they make something that feels a little bit more like a Mark Six? And that's what we're going for. So it just feels a lot like a Mark Six, and it has stuff that you can't find on any other saxophones coming from the island of Taiwan, and that is the tone holes are like a Mark Six, the ergonomics are like a Mark Six, and as you could say, like cosmetically, we really went for some Selmer things, and
it's not a replica, but it's inspired and it's styled like a 50s Selmer Mark VI.
It's really the sound is spectacular and it feels great. So like these are prototypes, people are playing them, and we're getting great response from it.
That's the lacquered one, and this is the antique finish. You know, the vintage finish.
Okay,
the raw brass.
Yeah.
The raw brass, and then the
and then we had it's engraved exactly like a U.S. Mark VI engraving from the 50s and 60s and 70s. That's the pattern they did in Elkhart.
Yeah, I know. I have a Mark VI too.
Yeah, they're all like that.
Yeah,
the American ones when they came here.
The bell ring.
The spatula keys.
There's so much.
The concave pearls. I found real mother of pearl. The placement of the thumb hook, the neck strap, it's all.
It feels like home.
Yeah, feels like home and not like just a regular Taiwan sax.
Okay, but Mark Sixes are known for like sometimes intonation issues and stuff like that. So obviously a more modern horn is going to take care of that, right?
Well, a little bit. Frankly, like all saxophones have intonation issues. It's how you play them, right? The intonation is extremely important. Play in tune, but to play a saxophone in tune, it helps to have the keys. It's set up. We have it set up by Ken Beason, is the master craftsman.
With Weisenberg was Ken. He was the catalyst that we were talking, and he knew Bob, and he deals with Weisenberg doing the custom shop horns. So me and Bob said maybe we should make a Mark VI kind of copy, and Ken hooked it up. And a year and a half later, going with emails, parts, thumb rests, and all kinds of things, they came through, and we paid for that service. It wasn't like they did it for fun. And we have 15.
The important part of it is these are all hand assembled and set up by Ken. So and his setups.
Like Ken Beason. Custom shop Ken Beason.
I see that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference for a horn to be set up by a master craftsman like Ken, and the necks and the necks are set up for the horn, right? So the necks are actually custom fit to the horn to get maximum, vibration and the airflow.
We also I copied this. I had them copy this. That's from a Balanced Action.
Oh, wow.
They called it nickname as the Pontiff's hat because it looks like the hat the Pope wears. That was on the 1930s. That's the nickname it became. Then the Mark VI had a little different one. So we had this made. It's just symbolic. It's like feng shui. You know, you need a little feng shui on the horn. And then Maria, Bob's wife, we were looking to copy the Selmer S, but we needed an RR, so she she had another friend help her, whatever. She came up with that design. To me, that's really iconic because it's like old craftsmanship is what we're trying to have, you know.
Yeah, and so you're saying like the ergonomics, everything feels like the Mark Sixes, and what about the blowing? You know, like the ease of blowing.
Well, frankly, that's what we're going for. The sound is everything, and the way the airflow is, and the way the center of the sound, and it takes the air. It doesn't. A lot of horns just are loud, and they just go bam, and you can't play soft on them. And Selmer has all kinds of nuance you could do on it. That's why everyone loved to play a Selmer, including myself and Joel. You know, it's like. It's very responsive, and it takes the air, like you explode on it, and you can go very soft on it. So basically, it's perfect. This is a real elegant instrument.
Ken has a recipe for the brass. It's kind of a scientific thing to recreate the composition. Brass has to be vaporized to find out what the ratios are of zinc, brass, and whatever they use, linoleum.
Can I ask a question? And this is, this is like a rumor. I don't know how true this rumor was, but I was told way back when I got my Mark 6s that what made the Mark 6s special was that they were made from the fragments, the shell casings from bullets from World War II. It's not true.
I don't think so. They were always able to get brass.
There's a lot of mythology that passed down about that, and it's true at some point that the brass, there is variations in brass, and you could tell from even old Mark 6s. Some of the brass is harder than others. You know, this stuff. The
alloys have a different ratio of metals. We have the one that's the perfect one, and the shape of the cone. Ken's kind of a scientist on top of everything else. He's really an amazing. The way he puts it together, you don't want to let him. You don't want to put him down. Just like you got a brand new Selmer if you were 15 years old, which I got close to that when I was 15.
I got mine when I was about 13. Joel.
I was 9.
Oh.
The Battle Royale. Well, you know what? Let me back up a little bit. Let's hear you guys a little bit more on this. That was awesome. That was not only awesome, that was incredibly special. I got to tell you.
Yeah. So these
they honk, right?
they really,
man, they're unreal.
You know what? The Selmer Mark 6s had character to them, and that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you can get character on the other ones, but there's something
like jewelry in France. You know, it's a high-end like buffet Selmer, and then it changed because they went in a different direction because the people managing the companies, they just don't know. There's no future. They're good players, but they have to make something new. They don't recreate old things to make money. It's all about money and producting and coming up with new names and things that are still okay, but they're not like they're not as good. That's why the Mark VI, they're always in demand.
Our company, Retro Revival, is named because we have incredible collection of vintage stuff that we love, that we searched for our entire lives. Because our profession, we needed to have setups that were great, because we work in recording and
every record you listen to, 9 out of 10 are Selmers, right?
Yeah, absolutely true. But so our idea was like, well, we want to try to make recreate. Retro, recreate, revive the stuff that we grew up loving. That you can't get much anymore.
Of old stuff that were good that you can't find unless you go on eBay, and you have to, you don't know what you're going to get.
Right. Not only you don't know what you're going to get, whether it's authentic or not, the condition of it, and
that when they made old mouthpieces were made better, but they're not all good. And nothing changed. It was still people mass-producing mouthpieces, and the guys were still looking like Coltrane and Dexter. They were always kind of looking for another mouthpiece to do another record with, and they went through a lot. It was just their own personal journey. But all those tenor players were gearheads too, a lot of them. So they're all floating on eBay, but now they've been secondhand. Some are worked on, and you may not get your money back, and there's a lot of risks.
So the horn is a tool, right? And depending on the music you're trying to play and the kind of gigs that you do, right? We're all searching for the right tool for the job, right. and so we know about this stuff because that's what we did it our entire lives. It's not, we really do know what works. I could say that with confidence. So I think that I really know that's what separates our mouthpieces, and hopefully people will find that about our horns too, because it is made by players that do it for a living their entire lives, with people that are the best at their craftsmanship and being actually guided by players, not the company guiding what it is, but it's us that are guiding what's making it good. So I think that's what separates Retro Revival from a lot of companies, because we are hands-on. We
engineer. We have a great engineer. So he operates the CNC and can copy things by hand with different gauges and know how to. He was a medical device engineer, so he's very accurate. And he's kind of develops mouthpieces for us and for other people. And he's very accurate when they come off the mill with all our little, like Bob has on our alto mouthpiece. We had a problem. Somebody wasn't making them right, and then we came in and gave another example to copy, came back out and re-improved it with the help of a computer and an engineer to get them all good.
And a hand finisher, by the way. All our mouthpieces are play tested and hand finished, and so we really take pride and care, a lot of pride in it. Yeah.
Let me ask you something. So mouthpiece reeds. Can you tell us also about the mouthpieces that you're using right now?
Well, this is a Retro Revival. We call it a stubby because this is basically a replica of a Bobby Dukoff, a shorter blank that was from the early 50s, and the people named it the stubby. So we just call it stubby. So this is basically a Bobby Dukoff, but it plays. But that's what I played on for 25 years with everybody. My entire career is a Bobby Dukoff stubby, and frankly, I like this better. We made them better, actually, which is hard to believe because they were such incredibly great mouthpieces made back then. But they were very inconsistent.
Not a lot left either. They're old. They're 50. They're from the 50s. They're 75 years old. So there's not many around.
A lot of those old mouthpieces are already worked on. They've been altered. And if you were to buy, say, a original stubby, it would be anywhere from $800 to $1,200, right? Yeah. And most likely it won't play very well, right? Because they've just been picked through and worked on. So this plays better, and the list price is less than $500. So anyway, that's the thing, is where everyone's trying to find a needle in the haystack with the mouthpieces for these old mouthpieces. So we try to get those mouthpieces what they were back in the day and playing better,
improved,
and affordable,
or playable. we're not claiming to make them. We're just making them the way they were originally made and improving it with computer technology and knowledgeable guys that have a lot of mouthpieces. So this is a copy of an Auto-Link double ring. This was like our first tenor mouthpiece. So I kind of worked on this with Bob, and I came up with the name Super Dex for Dexter Gordon. The only thing is, after we made 50, we found out we couldn't use the name Dex, because who knows? So rather than to argue the case, I don't want to have to lawyer up and spend 10 grand. So I changed the name to Super D.
Oh, got it.
And it's a copy of the double ring, which was started in New York. That's very sought after on eBay. These bring the biggest premium. And then this is actually the first one that we had that someone that worked for us back in the day made for us. And I'm still using the one from 5 years ago. I love it. It's my main piece. So it's a exact copy of an Auto-Link Super Tone Master. You can see I haven't cleaned it up in ages. I never touched it since it was made. It was good when I got it, and it's just, and I still have I have about 20 vintage Auto-Links that are all really good that I collect. And I play the mouthpiece that we sell, because I don't want to, when I'm off camera, someone will go, oh, you don't even play it. I really love it.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing too. When you love what you do and you make things that help people, you're playing it too. So it's authentic. It's like I know this is not related, but I remember one time we went to the sushi restaurant, right? And what we noticed was the people that worked there went somewhere else for lunch. Right. So you don't want that.
There's so much it's confusing, because there's a lot of horns on the market, and there's great stuff out there. People are doing great things, So, but one thing about the saxophones, the modern saxophones are basically made on the same island and the same factories, and it's sort of, they're Frankensteins. They're sort of like put together. So there's nothing that's wrong with that, really, except how you put them together and how how you decide what you're going to do with it, because these horns they're sort of kind of the same in the their variations, and frankly, it's the end result is like about the care and the person that's in control of putting these horns together and making them sound right. So I think that's why these are sounding. I think they're sounding great, because we're in control of what we're trying to go for, and really scrutinizing with how it compares to the original thing, to the real thing that we're trying to go recreate. Recreate. So anyway, that's basically what we're doing, I guess.
I played years with Freddie Hubbard. I'm on theme songs, playing hits solos on hit records. And when you go in the studio, you're playing with the best players with the best tones. Like the guys that all played with Frank Sinatra, Skeets Herford, this guy, that guy, Gene Cipriano. When you come up like that, and then listening to all the guys on records, Coltrane, and that's all we do. And years of buying and selling and looking for pieces. It's getting harder now because the prices are up and money's tight. So this kind of ends your search if you can trust that you're liking it. We're doing very well, knock on wood, for the last 5 years selling mouthpieces.
Well, let me ask you this. So where can people, number one, find you online? Number two, do they buy the horns directly online? Are you in dealers? How does that work?
Well, we're not hooked up with dealers yet, because the price of the horn is too expensive to make, adding the build. And we're going to have 15 tenors, 10 shiny, 5 vintage, going to Ken by early July. Okay. And then Ken's going to build them, and then we're selling them for right now online. online with a discount code, and then the word gets out, and then maybe a few. Rusty Higgins was interested in having a few at his music store.
And that's Long Beach Woodwinds, by the way. I know that because that's where I go for repairs.
He wants us to be near the Ishimori, because he sells Ishimori tenors and supplies, and Eastman, so he wants us there. We just have to work out the money aspect, that it's fair, because the horns do cost a lot, and then when you discount them, there's not a lot of profit in there for a dealer. But it's a double-edged sword because you get all that promotion, you know, so you have to split the difference a little bit to get it off the ground. Now, if I can act out what I just said, that would be good, but I'm a Libra, so I'm going to change my mind.
No, for sure. So, but online it's retrorevival.com?
Retrorevival.com, yes.
Got it.
TRU Six.
Saxophone, right?
No, it's retrorevival.com. Yeah.
Now, one more question too. Like, you've both played both, right? You both played both finishes. You're on the vintage finish. Do you normally play on this finish, or do you normally play?
This we had a couple of months, like 3-4 months, and we kind of redesigned, moving things around because they didn't do that.
Prototypes.
And there's things they didn't do at the factory because they get a lot of emails, and they're in Taipei and they have COVID lockdowns, and they have their own shtick that they deal with. And then Ken calls, and so we met the guy that we're working with. He's very polite, and he always comes through at the end of the day. This one just came like last week to Ken. He built it, he padded it, and did it all up. So I like that one because that's my horn.
I like that. I like that one.
Let's switch then. Here, give me my horn back.
No, I think
pretty much covered it. Yeah. So
they're both similar, though. Very similar.
Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for the little intimate concert here. And again, retrorevival.com, not only to check out the horns, but also to check out their mouthpieces as well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much, Donna.